Wanda is considered one of the most passionate and positive people you'll ever meet, both personally and professionally. Her inspirational mentoring, sales, and customer service training has dubbed her to be Wanda D. Hollis, the Motivational Queen. She launched Wanda D TV, a revolutionary online real estate talk show where local businesses and community leaders discuss their services, issues, and concerns. Wanda is passionate about helping people achieve their goals and dreams. She has gone on to pursue many passions, including her I Am Enough talk show, having a seat on the West Georgia Board of Realtors, author of inspirational and motivational books, and also a strong supporter of several nonprofit organizations within her community. Wanda believes that there's no such thing as bad decisions, only regrets of not making the right attempt. For speaking engagements or to book her for your next event or conference, please visit www.IamEnough365.com.
Go through with PTSD also, I'm ex-military, but I learned how to turn it into microphone techniques. So I'm gonna freestyle and then I'm gonna tell y'all a little something, because Wanda D told me to freestyle. Say, I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. Hard with the drums. I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I come from the boogie down, south side of town. MCs like me, we come incredible. See, I've been spending so much time in my head. Grab the microphone. Did you hear what I just said? I got skills, rocking on the mic. I pay bills all the time. Rapping on the beat with the rhyme. I'm coming off the top of my mind. I do this all the time. This is how I rhyme. I am enough.
I am enough.
Sing it. I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. Times right now are totally rough. Every time I'm dealing with this stuff, I grab the microphone and I don't bluff. And when I hold the microphone, I'm like the bluff. Sit back and watch the crowd rock. I grab the microphone non-stop. Blast the microphone is, I got a bonus to grab this mic and do just what I like. Too much hesitation, I had to take the time. Sit back, relax, so I can unwind. Messing with my mind. Now I gotta come out here and show this one time that I could unwind. Say a little stuff that was on my mind. And this is how we do. Are y'all with me? I'm with you too. Say, I am enough.
I am enough.
Say, I am enough.
I am enough.
Come on, times are tough and you know it's rough, but say, I am enough.
I am enough.
Say, I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. I'm from the Bronx, baby. Alright.
In the ATL.
In the ATL. Say, I am enough. I am enough. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's me, Wanda D, the Motivational Queen, your accountability coach, helping you get it done. And we are getting it done. Yes, indeedy. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Tell everybody that it is time. It is time. We are day 2, part 2. Can you say day 2, part 2? Day 2, part 2. I tell you, part 1 almost wore me out, y'all. I had to go take a nap. I had to go call on all the angels to come and lift me back up, because these authors are powerful. They are just bringing the fire. And I tell you, I'm taking copious notes. I'm anticipating, hanging on every word. When I tell you, it is amazing. So if you're here and you say, what is this? What is this excited soul sister talking about? I'm going to tell you right now. It is the book fair. Yep. It's the International Book Fair. We had one of our authors came in yesterday from Australia. Today, we had an author come in today from Germany. We have our authors coming in from the East Coast, from the West Coast. So yeah, that's what we're doing. It's all about the author. We're celebrating the author. This is, can somebody say author time? It's author time. It is time to know that your literature is your legacy. We want to push you into the light so you can shine bright, so you'll know, so everybody will know that you were here to make a difference because you finished it. You did what most people start and don't finish. You know, most people start writing a book and they don't finish. Most people say, hey, I got 5 books I'm working on, but they never get published. So these authors here, we're celebrating them. And I just want to do some housekeeping. Thank you for the heart, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I got all kind of crazy devices. First, let me give a shout out to some of our sponsors. One of our sponsors is 1044 Pro. It is a lifestyle enhancement bar. It's awesome. It's delicious. My grandkids love it. My friends, my family, everybody loves it. It gives you energy. It also has electrolytes. It gives you brain, that it takes away that brain fog, and it just helps you feel better. So it's great if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're working out, it's great to add to your regimen or your workout. You know, it really, really, really does work. And if you're interested in getting a sample, all you need to do is just let me know, and I will send you a free sample, which is a free bar. So along with that, we're broadcasting on quite a few different channels. One of my partners is Grady Baby Radio. So we're also being heard and seen in Grady Baby Radio. And also the Winning Evening News. We're on the Winning Evening News, as well as the I Am Enough talk show. And some other pages, like on Facebook, we have a group called Wake Up Winning for Entrepreneurs. This group is designed to support the entrepreneurs and authors. You are an entrepreneur, believe it or not. You're a business owner, and if your only business is your book, then you are an entrepreneur. So if you just would like some encouragement, some people to help you with maybe finance or marketing, branding, coaching, whatever it is, we can help you. Plus, not only just help you, but that whole iron sharpen iron. We might even do the same thing, but because you do it, we do it, we can all do it together. There is no shortage of winners. There is nothing in lack around here. There's an abundance of everything. So I like to believe that if we all put our heads together and our hands together, that we can just make the world a better place. Do you agree? If you agree, put a 1 down in the chat. Now, if you're here for the first time and you have never checked this out before, I just want to say welcome. Big hands go up. Say first time, so then we can come by and send you some love. Now, another disclaimer is this is a participation sport. So if you should want to say something, just say it. If something resonates with you, let the authors know, because what I'm asking them to do is I'm asking them to go back in the comments and perhaps respond to you, because this is how we grow our community, right? Facts, and true. See, I wish I was live, because then I know y'all, I could be hearing y'all say, yay, you know, get me all geeked up. Allow. Okay. Got a lot of stuff going on over here. And I just want to say thank you, though. First off, I really do. I want to say thank you for taking the time out to come to learn more about the authors, to learn about what they have going on beyond their books, because they are business owners, they're moms, they're dads, they're entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. They have a lot of things going on. They have ministries. So that's what we're doing. We're connecting with people. We're just people connecting today. And I am so fortunate to bring on my first author, which is actually a great friend. And we met, I don't know, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but she was doing an event. I can't even tell the whole story. We've been rocking for a long time. Let me just say that. We've been rocking for a long time. She does some amazing work in the community and with the youth. The youth is her specialty. She loves the youth. We're involved in quite a few different programs now. We're involved together in the WWCA, which is a international women's group, empowerment group that does a lot of things. There's a lot of support going on in that group. And also just the book that she's a part of, it was a collaboration, and her son, which he's not here, but I played some of his music earlier, and I will be playing it throughout the conference because he's one of my favorite hip hop artists. Yes, I have favorites. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Miss Amber, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about her. And then we're going to talk about what her contribution was to this project and what she has going on next. Hello.
Hello, Queen. How are you?
I am super fantastic. I'm floating on excitement, right? I'm just like this, like I'm floating
It's
on excitement.
okay. You should be excited. You've been doing some phenomenal work here at this international summertime virtual book tour.
Woo, that sounds good. That sounds good. Queen, I'm gonna move out your way so you can tell them, introduce yourself a little bit. Plus, I gotta go back here and pull up a few things, and then we're gonna come in and have this quick conversation, and so they can get to know you better.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, good evening, everyone. I am Amber Lyons, and I am the founder and CEO of From Pain to Purpose Incorporated. I am a transformational speaker. I am a mother of three children, three adult children, and four amazing grandchildren. Very family oriented woman. I am, as Queen Wanda has already told you, the motivational queen. We're sisters in the World Women's Conference and Award Organization, which is a global organization that impacts and works to reposition women and girls for success and leadership. I serve in two positions there. I serve as a domestic violence and youth advocate for the Atlanta chapter, as well as I serve as the global leader for the Young Leaders Club. So that's leading young leaders around the world. I am a visionary of the Youth Speak Out podcast of an amazing team of co-host, as well as an ordained elder and intercessory prayer leader, businesswoman. So I am honored to be here to be one of the authors, a part of this amazing event. Thank you for having me.
Well, that was my, my sound box, my hand claps. Thank you so much for thank you so much, Queen, for coming in. And we're going to talk about Wake Up Winning No Matter What. That's your book. That's what, kind of drove you here in this space. Yes. Beautiful book. Do you have your book over there? You want to hold it up? Dun, da, da, da. Okay. And you wrote this with your son. Yes.
Yes, I did. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So you want to tell us why did you even why Wake Up Winning No Matter What? Because losing is not an option. Why did you latch onto that project, and what has been your experience?
Well, honestly, Wake Up Winning No Matter What, because losing is not an option, was a vision of yours. And when you were looking for co-authors and you spoke with me about it, I said, well, you know what? The only way that I would really want to do that is if Emmanuel, aka Saint Even, and I could do it together. Mm-hmm. And you were like, of course. So when I spoke to him about it, he didn't think he had much to contribute, but he did. And he says, I did the work and he was just part of the project. But we worked on some things, and a couple of the questions actually in the book are his responses. And he was 20 years old. So he was the youngest co-author in the book. And the thing that made it so amazing for me was that we were the only mother and son and manager and artist team, as you can see from the background, team in the book. So we were able to share a small portion of our story, our life, to be able to give people an opportunity to know that we have a level of expertise to share with parents and young people who want to work together in the entertainment industry and who have come from struggles and challenged past and traumas, that you can too wake up winning.
Yes. And I really appreciated that. And I was excited to hear that that you said yes, but because I know that there is such a rich story in your life, and when you talk about people overcoming things and making the decision to push through it and not give up, that's the message within that book. What were some of the things that you would like to share that you spoke of in the book?
Well, is it okay if I read something?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to read something that Emmanuel answered in the book, which I think is kind of powerful, and I'd like to share that tonight. Um, it's a question that was asked in the book. It said, I'm a little trying to get myself together here. Give me a second. Okay. You know, when you got to have your help. Well,
I know,
and
I
then these
know.
braids, but they don't want to act right. They want to latch onto the glasses, but we gonna do
That's
what we
all
do.
right. That's all right.
So there was a question that was asked. It said, "What do you say to that person that is ready to give up, that may be going through what you experienced in life?" And his response was, "The main thing that I would say to somebody who was ready to give up is, I know what it feels like,
Mhm.
because I've been there many times. I have not just been ready to give up, but I have given up on my dreams before. I know that most people might wonder, if you truly care and it's truly a dream, how can you give up? I understand what that feeling is. And you know, when you feel that hopelessness, you can sense that things won't work out. The
Mm.
main thing that I can say about that is, if you feel like you're at rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. You
Wow.
know, if you feel like you are at the lowest low and you know things can't get better and you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, at that point, the only thing you can do now is completely adjust. You know, you have to continue to fight and witness the turnaround that you know is coming. I'm not somebody who's completely on the other side with it, and I still have not achieved all my dreams. I'm still going through it, and I'll still fight the battles of wanting to give up. Sometimes I feel like things are unattainable and unachievable, but I just remember the value is in the fight itself. That was
Wow.
from a 20-year-old.
And that's so profound and it's so relatable. How did that make you feel, just him expressing himself like that?
Just reading that, and knowing that I know that his fight, and I know the things that he's had to overcome. And one of the other things that was so powerful that he shared in here is how his, well, I think I shared it about him, is that how he says that hip hop helped save his life. See, people
Mhm.
don't think that young people have gone through anything that could possibly, well, what y'all going through? Y'all young, y'all got it made in the shade. You know, your parents is the one that's paying all the bills and taking everything. But our young people are going through some really deep things that we don't
Mhm.
even sometimes as parents can relate to as adults. And we have to be able to see past their behavior, see past what it is that they are and what they're exhibiting, and look and see that something else is behind that, and dig deeper into a conversation with them so that we can be able to help them to transition from that place of pain to a purpose. So his music was his vehicle to be able to not only heal himself, but inspire others along the way.
Wow. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And knowing him personally, I know that he definitely walks the walk and he talks the talk. He's
Yeah,
phenomenal. And that must make
yeah,
you very, very proud. All of your children are great children. But I know you and Saint, y'all have a certain bond because you're his manager as well.
yes,
You want to
yes.
share it?
And
Go ahead.
no, and I was going to say, and we've worked together more closely in the industry, because he was a professional child actor. when we were still
Mm-hmm.
home back in New York. So we would be on set 5 o'clock in the morning, have to leave the house 3 o'clock in the morning to get on location, to be on set. We'd be going on callbacks, and so we've been working together since he was like 9 years old. We started with him going into a professional acting school, John Robert Powers, up in New York City, and they casting directors, and we talk about that in the book, casting directors, and he will go on set, and people would just be drawn to him as a natural talent. So we've been working together since he was little, but we still had personal life challenges that we had to deal with. So it's a level of definitely pride to see he just graduated. You talked about it earlier this afternoon. He just graduated last year in the midst of the pandemic from Kennesaw State University. So to
Mm-hmm.
see a young person go through so much and still attain some level of success, even though they might not think is what they call success, it is, because you're touching lives with your music. You're touching lives on stage with drama and telling stories. He's a
Mm-hmm.
storyteller and he's a writer and so much more. And, he's the epitome of young people today. And he
Mm-hmm.
actually is where Healing Pain Through the Arts came from, through my organization, From Pain to Purpose, because the arts can help heal pain.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Amber, I know you're very proud. And as for the book, who is your book for, and where can they go purchase it? I know we have your links below. Is everything found on the link tree?
Yes, on Linktree, our website is on there. You can get the book through there. You can reach out to me directly on Linktree. All of the social media for me is on there. Saint even has
Okay.
his own Linktree, but for me, all of my social media, website, you can even book a 15-minute free consultation session with me on there. Everything is there. But the book is for anyone who needs that mindset that they can wake up
Mm,
winning. So that is for adults, young people, whoever, because we are one co-author in this book. This book is filled with inspiration for people who have gone through all kind of challenges and traumas and things that they've had to overcome in their lives. So anyone, this book can help you with a mindset to know that, like he said, even when you're being faced with challenges, you have to put that mindset on. I am still a winner, even in the midst of what I'm going through. So it's for any and everyone.
that's
But
beautiful.
specifically, we want to be able to impact parents and
Mm-hmm.
who are working with their young people in the industry
Right.
as
And
well.
that's what I know, the book supports different people in different areas. And like for instance, for you all, it was speaking about the industry and just different things to avoid, different things to expect, and as you talk about that, you always give people the insight of the industry, because the industry is different from what you think it is. It's
Oh
not
boy.
that. So
Yeah.
so yeah, so I really respect what you all do, and especially the support and love that you all have in your family and in your ministry is phenomenal. You mentioned how you work with the children, and which is, I think, is, you're definitely the ambassador to the children. You protect
Well,
the
I
youth, that's for
love
sure.
I love the youth, and God has just given me a passion. I've worked with youth for over 30 years in various
Yes.
capacities. I can remember being
Wow.
back home working with youth, going into the school on my lunch hour to read with underprivileged children on my lunch hour. And, working with the dance ministry back home in church and working with youth in Sunday school, not just my own children, but and that's something I want to leave too with us, that we have to continue to see our youth as ours and not just
Mm-hmm.
mine and my Jimmy and
Right.
my Susie and my Kim. We have to see especially in the Black community, we have to re-raise the village and rebuild the village. And I'm
Mm.
committed to rebuilding the village of support for our young people. Even during COVID-19, people were telling them they didn't have a right to be upset about not graduating high school and not having a college graduation and missing prom. Of course, they had a right to be upset. They worked 4 years for that. The families had a right to be upset,
Right,
you know,
right.
and to be disappointed and hurt. But we have to be able to validate them and know that they're outstanding, unique, and refined, and that it takes a
Absolutely.
village. So Wake Up Winning helps me to continue to push forward in the midst of a world that we see is going chaotic and crazy, and our youth are losing their lives through depression, through anxiety, through suicide. But we've got to create a space for them of support to let them know that they can wake up winning no matter what.
That's beautiful. You know, Amber, I'm asking this question to all of the authors, and that is, what would you say to somebody to encourage them to finish their book or to get off the fence and maybe start a book that they know is burning down inside of them? What words of advice or encouragement could you give someone?
I would say, like Nike, just do it.
Just do it. Y'all heard that? Just do it. And what's your
Just,
power word?
you
What's your one
know,
power word?
I heard you asking people about their power word, right? You want to come up with something more creative. People was being put on the spot. I had a chance to listen, but you know something? My word was conqueror. And they
Okay.
overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. You are a conqueror. You are more than a conqueror through him that loved you. Because of God, we're conqueror. But just sitting here just now, the Holy Spirit said overcomer.
Overcomer. See
There are
there?
so many people who have had to overcome so much. And sometimes what we are overcoming seems like it's taking us down. But I want you to know
Mm,
tonight that no matter what you've had to overcome, you are still an overcomer. And what has tried to overcome and overtake you is not overtaking you, because you're the overcomer and the conqueror.
come on now. Come on now. Don't get started now. Don't get started now. You know what? I really, really, really appreciate everything that you do, you know, from how we work together in certain projects. What is there anything that's coming up real soon for you that you want to leave our viewers with?
Well, Friday night I'm going to be on QTV Multimedia at 6 o'clock p.m. It's the page is right here on Facebook. Um, uh, I put up a couple of posts about it. Join myself with my comrade Q Harper. He's an amazing, another youth advocate in the community who's doing awesome. He's in the streets, I mean, every day with the community, with our youth, and he has wonderful programs. He has a program called Boys to Men for the young men, I believe, up to 18 years old. And so I'm going to be on with him Friday night. So come and check us out at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come hang out with us as we, just talk about You Speak Out podcast, talk about everything that I have going on. And
Okay.
I'm grateful for the platform that he's providing me. So that's what I'm going to be doing on Friday night. And we
Okay.
continue to work with the youth at the World Women's Conference and Award. If you have any young people who you know are amazing and can use the benefit of a collaborative support system, the World Women's Conference and Award Young Leaders Club is an amazing space to be able to collaborate with young people all over the world through mentorship, through access, through advocacy. So reach out to me in regards to that, and like our page as well on Facebook, World Women's Conference and Award Young Leaders Club, and connect with us. So we're looking to expand that group as well. And of course, everything that we do it all
Absolutely.
for the glory of God.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Amber, so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you real soon. We got to dive in some more with some more of what's happening within that within the youth group, and I just can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited about what's to come now that the world is opening up a little bit. I know that you'll be doing more events. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And guys, give Amber a big hand clap. Give her a shout out. You got a lot of comments, Amber, so you need to definitely go
Thank
in
you,
there.
everybody.
And I
Thank you.
also want to encourage you, Amber, to go back in the feed and just put down that information about Friday night for everybody.
Will do. Can I just say one more thing?
Mhm.
Our young leaders, no, I'm sorry, our From Pain to Purpose of my organization, we are going to be having our Healing Pain Through the Arts Teen Spotlight Awards in September. So we're looking for more young people to be honorees. So please connect with me. Go to www.frompaintopurpose.net and connect with us so that we can get your young people honored.
Okay. Sounds great. And I know I'll be
Yes.
there. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Queen. I
You're
appreciate you so
welcome.
much and all the
A-
best as you continue on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for
Smooches.
everything you do. Smooches. Hey guys, wasn't that great? You know, it's always wonderful to know that our youth are being supported and loved and cared for. And like I mentioned, Amber is one of the best. She's one of the best in the business. She talked about the World Women's Conference and Award. So if you know of any youth, this is not just for Atlanta. This is global. Doesn't matter where you are. For our authors that are across abroad or down the street, up the street, around the corner, everybody can really, really, truly benefit by this organization, and they're doing some remarkable work. Well, I'm going to bring on Miss Felicia Lucas, and she is absolutely fabulous. She has her own publishing company, and she's going to, I'm trying to figure out what Make It Happen is about. I can just only guess, but she's gonna come on here and chop it up. So are you back there still eating up the snacks? Come on in.
Yes.
Hello,
Hello,
beautiful.
hello, hello. How are
I
you?
am doing amazing. You know
Awesome.
what? First, let me say it is an honor and a pleasure to finally see you. I have kind of saw your videos. You know, caught a little bit of the broadcast you did with your authors,
Okay.
and it's just phenomenal. I us authors, we just all have to really stick together
Yes, yes.
and support one another and keep loving on one another. So I just really, really respect and admire you for what you do. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move out of the way so you could just really quickly introduce yourself, and then we're gonna
Okay.
come and carry on with our discussion.
Yes. All right. Well, hello, hello, everyone. My name is Felicia Lucas, and I am a 16-time author, speaker, women's empowerment coach, and also a certified health coach. And I am the CEO of His Glory Creations Publishing. We are an international Christian publishing company that helps individuals publish their inspirational and empowering educational works. And I'm just elated on tonight to have the opportunity to come and share. I'm a wife of 24 years, a mom of 3. My husband and I are leaders for Dominion Tabernacle Church, and we're also president and vice president of Take It by Force Ministries Incorporated. And so on tonight, I am just coming to talk about Make It Happen, my very first book that I wrote back in 2016. And I've had the opportunity to share that message around the world. And I'm just thankful on tonight for the opportunity to converse with you.
Awesome. Make It Happen. So that was your first book.
Yes, that was my first book. Yes, I
Okay,
wrote it in
awesome.
2016. Yes.
So tell us, now I probably missed it because I was fooling around. Where are you from originally?
I'm from North Carolina. Currently reside out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and
Okay.
so been in North Carolina all my life, actually.
Awesome. So how did you get into the publishing space?
Yes. So make it happen. I wrote it, and I'm not her now, and so that's a whole nother
I was gonna
a
say
story.
that's
Yes, so so when I wrote this book, the seed put in the book is called "Make It Happen: Moving Towards Your Best You," and I was planting that seed in my life even before I even knew that I was going to go through a transformation. So in 2020, I actually released 145 pounds. My life has totally changed. I'm living my best life. Became a certified health coach, and not only helping people, from the literary standpoint, standpoint, but also physically. And so some of the things I was talking about in this book was my life story as a wife and as a career woman, as an entrepreneur, as my physical state. And I wrote about steps that an individual needed in order to move further in life. And that seed was planted. And actually, my publishing company, I was speaking on this particular topic, met a young lady at a women's conference. She said, can you help me publish my book? I had just published my book. And I was like, help you publish your book? I didn't start that way doing that. I started out it was for me. I wanted to do it for me. But my one yes to her saying I would help her has helped me, allowed me to help over 80 individuals publish their books or their stories. Beautiful. And so the power of the yes, and making things happen. Someone is waiting on us to move forward. And I'm glad I said yes to me first. So now that I'm able to serve others and saying yes.
I love it. And you said in your book, you share some steps. Do you want to share with us tonight, maybe one or a couple of the steps in your book that you pass on to other people, how you became successful in your release of weight?
Well, in the book, that was the formative stages of that process. So actually, in the book, I talk about a lot of areas of my life. And one of the things that I do want to talk about is I did talk about my marriage, and I talked about some steps in creating intimacy, because as an entrepreneur, sometimes, with me, I wear a lot of hats, and I was causing one of the hats that I was wearing as an entrepreneur that was affecting my relationship with my husband. And so we went through a very rocky time where I was more focused on my business. And I want to encourage someone out there today that, you may be in business and you may be a mom and you may have a family and you may have all the things that are going on, but you always, if you are married, the getting back to the foundation of that is important. And for me, as a woman of God, creating the intimacy with my husband was important. But one, I had lost the intimacy with my Holy Father and with God. And so I talk about in the book how I had to have what we call a game-changing moment where things had to change in order for me to get to where I needed to get to where I was at a level that I could function effectively as an entrepreneur. I had to prioritize. I had to learn to say no. I had to learn that my family was most important outside of my relationship with God. And so those kind of steps in creating intimacy, and for us, we had to create it again, even though we've been married now 24 years and our marriage is healthy, but there was a time that it wasn't. And, being very strategic about date nights and taking trips and just those small things that when you start out, you have to not forget about. And so those are some of the steps or some, nuggets on tonight. The rest are in the book. You got to read to hit the whole story.
They got to read the book, right.
The rest of those nuggets are in there, how to create the intimacy with your partner.
Right. And I just, you saying something, because a lot of times we do get caught up in our business.
Yes.
And we forget about our significant others, and we in our mind, because I was guilty of that too in my first marriage. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm doing this for us,
right.
But then what was a gut punch for me was he said, I didn't feel like you needed me anymore. Because when you're taking on that responsibility and you're not, and you lose that intimacy, that communication kind of falls down, and people then start to internalize things differently than you are intending them to be. Yeah. So how important is it today that you keep up? And then what are some of the strategies that you use now? And because I just want to stay in the area of relationships. I think that especially nowadays, Black love is in so much jeopardy,
Right.
Because the times are changing and things are becoming more acceptable in areas, and it's a lot of struggle going on out here.
Right.
So
right.
You just want to
Yes. I think for us, the main thing is that we keep our relationship a priority, and even with the doing spontaneous things and going places, and even with COVID, you still have to be creative. A lot of things are not open and everything's not focused around money. You don't always have to do that. Just spending that time, and we always joke about, we live like right outside of Raleigh, but we'll get a hotel room in a night and just leave the house, and it may be 20 minutes up the street, but it's a different environment, and just being intentional. I think that's the main thing about when you
Yes.
start making things happen. They're not going to just happen on their own. So when you start talking about letting things happen versus make it happen means you have to put in effort. And in order for you to have a successful relationship, in order for you to have a successful business, you as the individual has to put in the effort. And so finding that out and being able to really capitalize on that. I've grown as a woman, I've grown as a wife, I've grown as a minister, I've grown as an author, grown as an entrepreneur, learning priorities.
It's so important. So what are some of the other things that you discuss and make it happen? Some of the other subject or topics, I should say.
Yes. So from a spiritual standpoint, my relationship with God, the relational point, my relationship with my husband and my children. From a physical standpoint, just body, health, and wellness. But I also talk about career development, and I talk about how, because I also have a corporate job, and so I talk about some experiences that I experienced as a woman in leadership, a woman in management, and giving strategies as to how do you maneuver through corporate America and still be true to who you are. I'm a natural. And so, I've been natural for like 7 years. And it was so long, I was so afraid to cut my hair and to go in corporate to be who I am. But this was the best decision that I could have made. I was trying to keep the straight hair, and I'm not knocking anyone that does that. But it was a revolution, or I would say it was a level of freedom that I'm able to operate in who I am and be who I am in my natural state. And so I talk about some things of that nature. I talk about, promotional opportunities and how you can be more visible in the workplace, and just little tidbits that I learned through the years. And so it's a plethora of stories in there, tips all around those arenas. But it's really about moving towards your best self, not just physically, but God wants us all holistically, all parts of us to be whole.
Right.
And so this journey, when I wrote the book, I had no idea. I had released weight, but I didn't have any idea that I would release the kind of weight that I've released most recently. And so my journey towards wholeness has brought me to this point.
And you work with people, showing them the way how you did it as well, right? Because you said you're a health coach.
Yes, I'm a certified health coach. Yes. So I do help clients with that as well. Yes.
So Queen, how do you balance everything? How do you keep everything? Because you got a lot of balls up in the air.
Yes.
How do you manage to? What do you do for you to help you stay on purpose with that?
Yeah. So self-care is number one important to me, and it took a while for me to know that, which means that there may be times where I just need to do things for Felicia, and it's not just being selfish, but taking care of myself. So making sure, one, starting out with my time with God, intimate time with him, that's important for self-care. Two is just scheduling things for me to improve myself. As I mentioned before about the power of yes, but there's also the power of no. And so I have learned there's certain things I just say, no, I'm not doing. And that took courage, because that could be involved with relationships, that could be family, that could be friends, the power of my no. And so that's what keeps me balanced. And having the freedom to make my own schedule, and if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. But being able to, plan my time out and not to feel so stretched, which before my mindset, I was, the heart of why I was doing it wasn't right. And so that's why it wasn't being profitable. But really just having a heart of service. It is a publishing company, but it's ministry. I am helping people in that regard when they're writing their books. That's ministry. Helping them with their health. That's ministry. And so thinking of it from a different perspective, it allows it all to balance. And sometimes I wonder how I'm able to do it. But then I think about it. I know how. He's given me the strength to do so.
Out of all the things that you do, which the one thing that you love to do the most?
Publish books.
Publish books.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Publishing books, health coaching. That came after. I mean, the seed of the author, and as being an author, and then the first time they get their book, and just that excitement, and
Mm-hmm.
the whole process. So that is my passion. Is helping people to live their best life, but more specifically, getting that
Getting
literary
this, helping them get
out
their
into the world.
story out.
Yep, getting the
Yeah.
story out. Yeah,
And I just asked that because I know that we have so much diversity within us,
yeah, yeah.
it's spirited wise, but there's always that one thing that you would just do over and over and over and over repeatedly, and you would put everything to the side. So I just had to know, and that leads me to the question of what are some of the experience that you've had with working with your people? You work with so many people. How do you move people and get them off the fence and hold them accountable for completion?
For completion. And so sometimes that is a challenge. Sometimes people are very excited about their next and what that looks like. And so for me, I am a motivating coach as well. And I also want to show them, someone is waiting on you. Someone is waiting for that story, and the importance of getting it out is not for you. It's actually for them. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I've had authors that I've worked with that have started writing manuscripts and they stop for various reasons. And so when they get that block, we have our sessions and we kind of coach through that. But allowing them to see what's on the other side, I think that's the bigger picture as to the purpose of why they're doing it in the first place, and
Mm-hmm.
for them to stay motivated to finish the work, because that's what God wants us to do. He doesn't want us to start. He gives us seeds of ideas. He gives us desires of things, but at the end of the day, he wants us to complete the work. And so that is kind of, we're his Glory Creations Publishing. What we do, we want it to be published to the glory of God, and it gives him glory when he sees his children manifesting in the earth. And so it's just kind of
Absolutely.
like it's a cycle. It's a cycle of that.
I love it. And I love the name. The name is beautiful. The name is absolutely beautiful. I love it. What's next? So what's coming up next for
Yes,
you?
yes. So I actually am releasing an anthology. Just got the actual proof copy in, so it's called.
Yay!
So we do specialize in anthologies. This is my second group of anthologies. This one's called "He Knows My Name: Inspirational Stories of God's Love for His Daughters." And so this is volume 2. And these are stories about how God has shown his love to women. And so the stories of how he's poured that out has been amazing. So June the 29th on Facebook, right here at His Glory Creations Publishing, we'll
Okay.
have a virtual launch. And that is one series. Our second series that I have is called Down for the Count, and we're actually on volume 6. For that.
Wow.
And so, and that is about stories that are of trauma, of grief, those stories that people don't want to talk about. A lot of times women don't want to share, if they were inappropriately touched or
Mm-hmm.
experienced different things as teenagers. But the women that are in those books, they always say it's a release for them in order to move on. And so I count that an honor to serve as that midwife, as that woman that helps push that so they can move on to live their best life. So it all's connected. It's all
Yes,
making it
yes.
happen. That seed was planted. It's all connected. And I
And
thank
from
God for the
that seed,
opportunity.
then
Yeah.
everything else has like
Yes.
just born out from you being
Yes.
obedient to make it
Yes.
happen. Then
Yes,
everything
ma'am.
else kind of follows up. I just love what you're doing. And last but not least, I wanted you
Yes.
to leave our viewers with your one superpower word.
Execute.
Woo! I gotta ring my
Yes.
bell. Hold on. Execute. That's it.
Execute.
Make it happen. It goes in alignment with
It's,
make it
it's,
happen.
that's it. That's it. Yes.
Execute.
Yes.
I love it.
Execute.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for
Thank you for having me.
coming on.
Yes.
It's been a great time. I can't wait. Please let us know about about your launch when you do
Okay.
your
Okay.
launch. Okay, make sure
Okay.
you send us the information on your launch. And then
Okay.
anything that we have going on here, this is an
Yes.
open platform for
Okay.
you. We want to know, we want to keep up with it because I
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
strongly want us to get in the habit of supporting people in their literature building this community, extending the olive branch, building a family.
Yes.
And for our viewers watching, you getting a lot of love. A lot of people showed up for you. But for our viewers watching, please go over and follow her Facebook page, follow her on IG, and check out her website. And if you want to put together a project, contact her, sit down, have a consultation.
Absolutely.
She can get you on the right road, and we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. Yes.
Thank you so much, Queen, for your time.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Thank you. I accept. God bless you as well. So we're gonna keep this party going. I am so excited. The next person that I'm gonna bring up is I think he's our first male for this series. We have more men coming in, but he is first. So y'all say first male. We got to roll out the red carpet for first time men, right? Y'all put your hand together for Mr. Eric Williams. Hello, how are you? Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. Let me do something right quick here. How are you doing today, King?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I am excellent. I'm on fire. We're doing a lot over here. Just it's all about the author. It's all about the author. So I'm so glad that you showed up and ready to show out tonight. What I'm going to do is I am going to move out of your way. I sent you a message. I don't know if you've seen my message in the private chat. So as we're talking, maybe you can go take a peek in there. But I'm going to move out of the way so you can introduce your book, so you can tell them what we're going to be talking about tonight. I do know that we're going to have several conversations during this experience, but I'm going to move out of your way, and then I'll come back, and then we'll talk about the last time.
Okay, thank you. My name is Eric Williams, and my book is called The Last Time. It is a fictional, I guess you could say, teenage love triangle that involved two men and a female. It kind of just is like I said, it's a fictional love triangle, and it kind of ends up being tragic. It's actually a series of books. It's actual second book. Excuse me. It's the prequel to another book I have just published. Right now I'm new at this, so I'm kind of nervous. So bear with me. But
well, you don't have to worry. I'm back. I don't want nobody to be nervous, because we don't have to be nervous. That's not what we got to be.
Right. We just got
to be amazing. So that's fine. That's fine, King. So let's talk about first a little bit more about you. Where are you from?
I'm originally from High Point, North Carolina. I now live in Sherman, Texas. I've been in Sherman, Texas for about 20 years. My wife is from here, so after we was in the military together. So after we got out the military, we moved to our hometown. And so I've been living in Sherman now for 20 years. It's a small town about an hour north of Dallas, basically close to the Oklahoma border.
Okay. And you like it out in Texas? I know y'all experienced something different that they normally didn't experience, and that was getting a little bit colder weather.
Yes, that freeze came through quite a bit there, and I actually was part of it. Luckily for myself, and I should say, well, my household, we didn't lose no electricity, anything like that. But quite a few people in the area did lose, and but we was okay from it. And you're right, okay. It's not normal. It is not normal here in Texas to have that type of freeze. Right.
And it was quite challenging. I have lots of family and friends in Texas, so we were kind of like checking on everybody. Y'all all right? Because they didn't know what to do. Yeah, like I'm from Detroit. We know what to do in Detroit. We don't. They make houses different in the north than they do in the south anyway. So when did you first know that you wanted to become an author? And you said this is the first book.
This is actually the second book. Second book, but it's the prequel to the book.
To the first one, yes. Right? Okay, yes. So it's kind of like how they go back and then they talk about
exactly.
Yeah, okay. I love how they do that. So let's talk about this one. Where did the name come from? The title, and how did you go about developing your different characters? Because you said it's like a triangle. with teenagers?
Basically, I worked in juvenile corrections for 20 years while I was in while I lived here in Texas, and I actually came up with the title for this book kind of like near the end of the story. As I was just kind of finishing up the story, one of the characters said, you know, this is the last time I'm doing this, and then kind of just a light bulb went over my head and, you know, blinked on and said, you know what, that could be the book title, The Last Time. And so I just kind of went with that. But this story actually transformed from its original state, was about an anti-gang story. In the process of me writing it, I kind of just changed it over to like a love triangle between two men, or I should say two teenage boys, and they, you know, kind of have a squabble over a girl. So it kind of transformed, because I actually originally was trying to do a anti-gang story, just saying you never know when's the last time when something, you know, if you live in that life, you just never know when's the last time, you know, this could happen. But, you know, like I said,
but you kind of like went a different way with it.
Yes.
Than you had originally planned.
Yes.
Okay. And you say from your experience of being in correctional, in the correctional department, working in there, it gave you the idea of these characters?
Yes. I mean, none of the characters in this book are actual, you know, true characters, but it's a composite of just different people I've met throughout my career in juvenile, you know, justice, and just people I met in my life, period. You know, just in composites, just different people I've met. So I try to make a story as real and as gritty as possible, you know, so we can relate to it.
Right. Who would you say your ideal reader would be?
Well, based on the audience that I've been reading and most of the feedback I've been getting back from the other book, it's women and some, you know, young teenagers, but mostly women. I think it definitely appeals more toward moms. They just, you know, feel the pull of the story. I didn't originally plan it like that, but that's just how I kind of unfolded.
Yeah, and I find that most women are the biggest reading audience anyway, you know, so that's no surprise. What was it how did you go about developing your hero? Now explain to us, walk us through like one of your main characters, and then let us know how did you kind of develop that character?
Well, the main character in the book here, his name is Jordan Sky. And he's just a typical 16-year-old, you know, kid here in America, living, partying, hanging out with his, you know, his two boys. And he meet this girl, her name is Rain, and they kind of hit it off. And from there, they just kind of, you know, start going out. But she has a jealous boyfriend that, you know, I guess you say jealous, obsessive boyfriend that don't want to let her go. And they have a beef between those two. And that's how the story just kind of just takes off from there. And it just talks about the mother, you know, just worrying about her son, you know, and all the trouble that he's having, and, you know, and worried about her. He had a younger brother, and she's worried about the younger brother also getting into trouble.
And that's so that's kind of like relevant to what goes on today, you know, with teenage violence and teenage domestic violence towards their mate, and it starts at that age.
Yes.
Yeah. So were some of the youth that you was working with, were they trouble in that area when they would come pass your way?
Oh, yes. I dealt with like I said, I worked in Texas juveniles for 20 years, and I dealt with gangbangers, you know, just kids like to fight, kids that did actual sexual assaults, you know, just a wide variety of, you know, crimes they committed, you know. And I kind of dealt with, you know, just a wide variety. I mean, arsonists. Well, I didn't deal with murderers because that was another, you know, level far as, but I mean, just violent, aggressive, you know, angry teenagers. I dealt with quite a bit in my career.
Well, you're a blessing because they need somebody strong like yourself in those areas. And the fact that you're taking it and now you're turning into these stories that hopefully can reach back and touch some of our youth. For the last time, that book, is it going to follow up with another book? Is this a trilogy or something?
Oh, definitely. I had to finish the story. The Last Time is the one that starts it off. And like I said, my other book is called You Never Say Goodbye. That's the middle story. And right now I'm in the process of coming up with final story to wrap it all up. I already got the title in my head. I don't want to say it yet, you know.
Yeah, don't let the beans out. Don't spill everything. So how do you manage your time as a writer? You know, a lot of people want to know, like they may be wanting to write, but they don't have the time. They feel like maybe they don't have the time. How did you go about, you know, carving out time in your day to write?
Well, actually, I started writing like I said, my first book was called You Never Say Goodbye. I actually started writing that when I was in juvenile corrections around 2015 or so. And I wrote about the first 20, 30 pages, and I kind of got discouraged because life, bills, kids, just things in general, job got in the way, and I kind of just had to put it by the wayside. But during COVID, I just had opportunity to sit back down because of the shutdown, and it is right, the job, kind of shut down. I just, found some free time, and it actually just made a conscious effort in 2020 to finish the story.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I wrote You Never Say Goodbye, and You Never Say Goodbye has been out for about 7-8 months. I was going to talk about that in another episode of your show here.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, made a conscious effort to finish You Never Say Goodbye. And then while in the process of writing You Never Say Goodbye, I knew I had to tell the story of, Jordan, to what sets off the events in You Never Say Goodbye. I had to tell, the main story that sets off. And that's why I just had to, do the last time. And as far as writing now, I set an alarm on my phone every day, like it's time to write. After work, when I'm off my work, I make sure the alarm goes off, and I set aside at least an hour and a half every day, unless something else comes up, every day to write. And I just kind of slowly just, bang, 3-4 pages at a time, sometimes I really,
It does. So it doesn't really matter how much, just long as you follow the disciplines of writing when that alarm goes off.
Yes.
Would you say that you are more disciplined because of your military background?
Somewhat, yes. I definitely yes, definitely. And I, like I said, I just think that me finishing that first book, you gave me the confidence. Like, wow, because I actually I never saw myself as a writer. Say, if you'd have asked me 20 years ago, are you gonna write a book, or are you gonna be an author of a book? I would have looked at you stupid, like, what are you talking about? I don't know what to write a book about. But once I wrote that book, and the confidence and the feedback I got from that first book, you gave me the confidence. You know what? I can do this. I can, do this other book, and I knew I needed to do it. And like I said, I have, some good feedback from that previous book, and now I'm just trying to put the word out about The Last Time.
Absolutely. Now on the one that you're going to be coming back in and talking about in The Last Time, are those books, are you doing like a book tour with that, or are you doing more speaking engagements? How are you getting that out to the marketplace?
Well, just right here is actually the first time I've done any kind of speaking engagement concerning whatsoever.
Awesome.
I've been posting it on Facebook, just different book clubs through Facebook. But as far as me actually having a interview, I have not done that. This is all new territory to me. This is all,
Well, you know what? I'm about to open up a lot of doors for you because I have a lot of friends in media. And actually, shout out to Grady Baby Radio. We have, that's another media outlet that I'm a part of. And they would love to have you on there and interview you and talk about, more about your book, give you some more exposure. And that's why I do what I do, is to help people get the exposure, because there is so many outlets, and a lot of times people just don't know how to tap into them. But you have an edge, because I'm gonna be your edge. Okay. And that's for any of the authors that come through that want more experience or want more exposure, to get more exposure. We have it available to you. And I like something that you said in terms of the alarm clock, setting your alarm, because a lot of people use the excuse of they don't have time, and then they don't make time. And like Miss Felicia that was just over on, saying make it happen. Like, that's how you make it happen. You have to make it happen. You have to carve out that time and then get it done. And where do you see, and I know you said 20 years ago you would never think that you would be here in this space now. So Amen. where do you think you'll be, saying like 5 years from now, with the content that you've done so far?
I don't have an answer for that right now, to be honest with you. I'm just taking it one day at a time.
Just taking it one day at a time.
Yes. And hopefully, with the exposure I'm getting through your show and these other outlets, who knows?
Yeah, because I really see a good friend of mine. She took one book, and that one book, she developed it to a play. Then she turned it into a movie. And from a movie, now it's actually about to be shopped in a much bigger arena, just from that one story being told. And that's the power of the pen. That's the power of our literature.
Right.
I can really see how your story and your experience with the working in the juvenile system can really save our youth, because our youth are in danger. They're endangered
Yeah,
species.
I saw it every day. I saw it every day. I retired from it in 2018, so I'm not part of it no more. But I definitely saw it, in my 20 years there.
It would be nice if you could go back in there and talk to some of them, especially with your book and with your content now, and possibly help them put a pen in their hands, because a lot of that is just like not knowing how to manage that anger, how to get over it.
Amen.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
Yeah. Do you look at writing in any type of therapeutic way for yourself?
Oh, definitely. It is very therapeutic. It gives you a chance to escape, what's going on in the world today, and go into your own little world. So it's definitely, I found that I used to play video games, just on Xbox or PS4, but now I've got rid of that and use, writing as my therapy, as my way to get away.
That's great. And that's adding so much. And another thing is it's your legacy.
Amen. Amen.
It hangs on long after you're gone. So what's next?
Well, like I just stated earlier, I'm about to start the follow up to this last time book. I haven't actually started writing it yet, but hopefully I will be writing within the next, I don't know, month at the most, and hopefully I can have that finished before the end of this year. And I don't know what happens after that, but we'll just play it by ear. That'll be the third story in this trilogy, and I'll wrap it all up.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And now, what would you say to somebody that maybe like yourself, that you didn't see yourself here, or that maybe possibly sitting on the fence of and not diving into that writing experience? What kind of advice could you give them to get started?
Well, it's just kind of funny because when I was writing the book, like I say, I had a period, about a 2 or 3 year period, where I didn't write nothing at all. I had started it, but just kind of got discouraged between job and work and just life in general. But I had a coworker come to me when she was writing a book, and I explained to her I was writing a book and had stopped, and she just told me, you know what, just start writing. She inspired me to start writing again, and that's where I got the inspiration to keep, write something every day. Write something. You can always go back and make adjustments and change, and editorize, but write something down every day to make, inch by inch. That's if that saying go,
inch by inch, life a cinch.
Exactly. And that's
a mile is hard, but inch by inch, life is a cinch. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first step in any journey, how's it go? The first step in any journey begins with that first step.
Begins with that first step.
So,
awesome. I love that. Sit
down and do it.
So y'all better write that down. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. And what would be your power word, Eric, that you would leave with our viewers?
My power word would be perseverance.
Ooh, that's a good one. Perseverance. Yes. Make sure y'all write that down. Perseverance.
Keep pushing forward.
Yes, keep pushing forward. That is so powerful. I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I look forward to seeing you again before it's all over with, so we can talk a little bit more about the Never Say Goodbye, and just find some more about the journey. What were you getting ready to say?
Oh no, I was just looking forward to coming back myself.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna make some phone calls on your behalf and get you plugged in, because the more you talk about it, the more excited you'll stay, the more lives you'll be able to touch and everything else. And I just really, really, truly appreciate you for taking the time to come on and join us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Y'all make sure y'all give Eric some love. Follow him. Go buy his book. It's on Amazon. Oh, you know what? One more thing, Eric. How do people get in touch with you? Say if they want to email you, what's the best email contact?
Well, you know what? I just came up with a quick one. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's evwill64@yahoo.com.
Okay, that's beautiful. And we could see that, so then we could screenshot it.
That's what it was about.
I love it. I love it. We can screenshot it.
And
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And so y'all know that y'all can reach out to Eric and get more information of him, of his new books coming out, and just kind of follow him. We're going to get him some more exposure so we can keep up with what's going, and so we can help people. If you're in a position to help people, that's what you're supposed to do. If you can, you help. And if you can't help, then you move out the way and you let somebody else that can help get to the person that they need to get to. So we're going to take I'm just going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then I'm going to come back and I am going to bring up Miss Denise. Yay, Denise is here. So we got a green room full of folks. I hope that y'all being nice, y'all playing nicely. You're not eating up all the snacks. You're leaving. You're sharing the snacks and everything, because those snacks got to stretch. They really do. I'll be right back.
Go through with PTSD. Also, I'm ex-military, but I learned how to turn it into microphone techniques. So I'm gonna freestyle, and then I'm gonna tell y'all a little something, because Wanda D told me to freestyle. Say, I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. Hard with the drums. I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I come from the boogie down, south side of town. MCs like me, we come incredible. See, I've been spending so much time in my head. Grab the microphone, did you hear what I just said? I got skills, rocking on the mic, I pay bills all the time. Rapping on the beat with the rhyme. I'm coming off the top of my mind. I do this all the time. This is how I grind. I am enough.
I am enough.
Sing it, I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. Times right now are totally rough. Every time I'm dealing with this stuff, I grab the microphone and I don't bluff. And when I hold the microphone, I'm like the bluff. Sit back and watch the crowd rock. I grab the microphone, non-stop. Blast the microphone is, I got a bonus to grab this mic and do just what I like. Too much hesitation, I had to take a turn. Sit back, relax, so I can unwind. Messing with my mind. Now I gotta come out here and show this one time that I could unwind. Say a little stuff that was on my mind. And this is how we do. Are y'all with me? I'm with you too. Say, I am enough.
I am enough.
Say, I am enough.
I am enough.
Come on, times are tough and you know it's rough, but say, I am enough.
I am enough.
Say, I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. I am enough. I'm from the Bronx, baby.
In the 8C.
I just had to get that in my spirit again. For us people, this is our last hour. We're going over. I already feel it in my spirit. We're going over, but don't worry. Don't worry. You're in the right place at the right time. You don't even have to put the kids away. You can leave the kids up and they can just enjoy all this good information. I really enjoyed Eric and what he had to say, especially, I'm more drawn towards people and understanding their body of works, because this is the thing. People think that they just write books, but they don't. Their books be part of their work, not their job, but their work, and by him being such a instrumental person in the law enforcement, it was a great thing that he used those years and that experience to pour into a project like that. And in my mind went straight to, wow, if we could possibly teach our kids how to start writing at an early age, they could probably avoid some of the pain that they go through as adults. Would you all agree or no? Am I the only one feeling like that? Well, okay. Well, if it's just me, that's cool. I just really think that when it comes to children, when it comes to young folks and old folks, but mainly young folks, they can really avoid some of the pitfalls if we share with them different tools earlier in life, not just sending them to school, but just really teaching them how to express themselves, and maybe coming to the Sunday table or the dinner table or the weekly table and say, listen, what did you write about? Let's share some of our thoughts, what we wrote about. I don't know, Spirit just put me in there, so I just dropped it to you. But without further ado, I'm bringing on our next author. Miss Denise, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Snaps.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
she say, I'm ready. Hello, beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. Now, Denise is my middle name. So, we're kind of like sisters, right?
All right.
We're right there. That's my middle name. That's where the D come from. So I'm so glad that you're here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move out the way for a little bit and let you kind of tell them a little bit about why you're here, what we're going to be talking about. And then I'm going to come back in and we're going to talk further. Okay?
Great. Thank you. Again, my name is Denise Meredith, born in Brooklyn. Great place to be from. And I've been writing, as she mentioned, starting as a kid. I wrote my first book when I was 10 years old. So that sort of set the goal and the path of which I've been on. So throughout my life, I've written for magazines, newspapers, had a real job on the side, but I've probably published over 1,000 articles in my lifetime, and I'm still writing. It's gotten a little more challenging because newspapers are disappearing, but I hope we get to talk about there's a lot of other avenues now, new avenues in which you can express yourself. And that's what I hope people do, express themselves.
Wow, Queen, you said, okay, hold up. Because see, I was fiddling around with buttons and devices, and I'd be trying to listen, but sometimes I can't hear. So what age were you when you said you published your first book?
10 years old. Okay. I wrote a book about training my dog.
See, there you go.
At the time.
There you go.
But it was also my first exposure. I talk about parents are your first mentors. So my parents are really well read. I spent a lot of time in the library with my mom, et cetera, et cetera. And it was my first lesson because taking that book to school, the teacher accused me of plagiarizing it. Okay.
Wow, she put you in jail already. Welcome to the real world.
Welcome to America. My parents know I was raised knowing I could do anything. And Of course, we discover as people of color or women or gay people or whatever, we discover that's not the case.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about thoughts while chilling.
Okay. Here it is.
Yes, show them that beautiful book.
People like the cover, yeah.
Thoughts while chilling.
That's Cancun, one of my favorite spots. So
awesome. So we'll dive into that. Tell us a little bit about where'd you come up with that title, and what is the premise behind that storyline?
I got the title actually from Len Fuchs as an author. He's a military man. My dad was a military man, so we hit it off well. And he had a series called Thoughts While Shaving. Okay. And it was just it was a blog before, because nobody heard of blogs, but then it was a blog before there were blogs. And so he knew I was a writer. He was very encouraging. My first book came out, autobiography of a Black public servant, and he said, well, why don't you carry on the thoughts theme like I do? Well, when he has his thoughts when he's shaving in the morning, that's when his best thoughts come. My best thoughts come when I'm
being on Cancun.
Being on the beach. And I wrote this book while I was in Cancun. So that was it. So that's got started. And I started a blog then, like he did. It's 2006. So since that time, I've had a blog going. So it's been really nice to express. If you can imagine, every week since 2006, I've written thoughts for people.
I've tried to start blogs. I can't be consistent. I'd be too busy doing a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't know. I'm just not successful in that area. But I know it's a good thing when you can. So tell us about what are some of the things that you will find when we read Thoughts While Chilling?
It's my life stories, autobiography. And when you're young, I guess you think, oh, I'm going soon, or how long I'm going to be around. I better get this down. But this goes up to 2002. I was born in Brooklyn. like everybody is there. And then they migrated out to the other boroughs at that time. But grew up in New York City. My parents were my dad was a Renaissance man. He was a musician. He was a career military person. He was a writer himself. My mom was on the other side. He was creative. My mom was a community organizer.
Okay.
PTA, church, whatever, Humane Society. She was out there. So I'm that combination of those two.
Nice.
So my life, I talk about sort of the Norman Rockwell, I call it upbringing. People don't understand about New York, how it used to be. It used to be a lot more rural. Grew up in Queens, which Manhattan was always the city, and then Queens used to be the wilderness there. And so I talk about, we had soapbox derbies and that stuff you see on TV, tree houses and everything like that. And my dad had a different outlook on life. He, believe it or not, grew up on a ranch in Texas. So that was pretty unusual for African-American at that time. So I had toy guns and liked horses and all of that type of thing growing up. So I talk about this sort of very unusual childhood that I had. But as I mentioned, when you step outside the boundaries of that is very different. I was lucky. I grew up in a neighborhood that was very integrated in New York. We didn't know we were poor. Maybe that's why.
I think a lot of us growing up Black didn't know we were poor.
So in our neighborhood, and on my 2 blocks here, we had Jewish, German, Italian, Puerto Rican, Black. It was wonderful. Everybody ate everybody else's food. Everybody went to everybody else's church. And you really, it's something that doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, it seems, that sort of growing up. So my book talks about my journey to Cornell University. It's where my undergraduate degree was, because I wanted to be a vet. And I went up there and I talk about my struggles in getting there. It wasn't a simple trek because people put obstacles in your way along the way. But I did get to Cornell, and then sort of my disillusionment once I got there, because again, thinking you made it, you keep thinking you've made it, but really, as unfortunately most African American, you never really make it. You can do well, and you can do everything you think you're supposed to do, but it doesn't always pay off. In my case, I couldn't be a vet. They weren't letting women be vets at that time.
Wow.
Okay, there was a quota. They talk about quotas now, and quotas weren't keep
They didn't even have a quota. They said, no, you can't do it. The quota is no. The quota is no.
I think they told me there was 1 woman a year they let into the vet school. So I knew it wasn't going to be me. So I switched to wildlife biology, which there weren't any women in that. But the difference was they didn't say there couldn't be any women in that. So there were 2 African-American women who graduated with degrees in wildlife biology, first ones from Cornell University at that time. And so I got a job with the federal government, the Bureau of Land Management. I can't say BLM anymore because that has a different meaning, but the Bureau of Land Management is where I started. And I spent 29 years in the federal government.
Wow.
Living all over the country. I was the first woman. I was the first woman they ever hired in that agency.
You're a trailblazer.
So yeah, I thought about naming the book 5,000 Cowboys and Me, but I didn't. But I think people enjoy it because, as you maybe can't see, I'm sort of funny. Comes from growing up in Brooklyn, but it's a humorous book, but it also talks about what really goes on, what really happens, and the hurdles that you can that you have to overcome. So I'm sort of popular public speaker because people are inspired at what you can make happen. And I do it in a way that is entertaining, but at the same time, very meaningful for people.
Right. That's great. I can't wait to read it because it just sounds like to learn more about your story and then these golden nuggets and how you was blazing the trail and the fascination of how you grew up, because I think we all have these layers of just, I don't know, I call them like little sweet spots. Like, did you know, like I can remember things like the swim mobile and, kind of like nostalgic almost, things that we are so in some ways today a little bit disconnected from, because we don't have those things. So just holding on to it. And this is why I do what I do. And this is why we write, like you write, because you're giving somebody a glimpse into things that they can't even see anymore. Like when your kids say, did they have computers when you were born? Or like my kids used to say, did they have telephones? Something like that. You're like, what? Like, yeah, they had telephones, So, and I could really relate to something that you just said about the culture of community and people, everybody, like the melting pot of it wasn't so much separation as it is now. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I knew about different cultures. I knew about different music just from being around such a diverse group of people. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about your book. What was some of the would you like to share just some of the maybe aha moments that you discovered as you were writing?
As I was writing, yeah, I think I did it really quickly. It took me like 2 weeks in Cancun to write this book, but I tried to infuse a lot of different aspects of culture into it. I always had a favorite song every year, so I start each chapter with sort of some lyrics from whatever my favorite song is. So people like that too, because it's nostalgic. You go back to Motown or the Beatles or whatever was at the time. So I just feel my life is a combination of all of these things. It's music, it's writing, it's the people that I've encountered. I learned a lot of lessons being first woman in an agency. And in a positive way, it could have been a disaster. I think maybe did sort of like Jackie Robinson. There were people who were better ball players than he was.
Right.
But he had the right mental capacity or whatever to do it. And I think they sort of picked the right person to be the first woman because I had the strength, because I integrated white junior high and high school. So people talk about Alabama and, Mississippi, and well, there were eggs being thrown in New York as well. So I had that strength of going through all of that. So nothing really bothers me or stops me. And I was able to break the doors open for many people, because after I got in, they would literally call me for the first few years. Oh, there's this woman that applied. Do you think we should hire her? They would literally call me.
Wow.
And ask me.
So you had pull.
And I would go, oh, yeah. Like I knew her, right? Oh yeah, she would be great. so and just breaking down. So I felt it was my mission almost to break down those barriers. And so I was the first everything, obviously, woman in that agency. I was the second African American they ever saw. But anyway, first woman. And I made it all the way up to, I was the top career employee during the Clinton administration. I was deputy director of the whole agency. And I had a $1 billion budget, 10,000 employees, 200 offices. So
and all of that is in that book.
Yes.
Wow. You know what? Y'all got to get this book. I want to encourage our readers to just connect with you. I know that you were saying that you were going to give us some insight on just getting more visibility. And I know that you have a blog. So I know Eric, he's still with us. That's another thing that every author should do, is start their own blog, just to get relevant information. Anything else that you want to share with us in that area?
Well, I'm so excited about what you're doing, because we need to get our stories out. There's not enough. There's just not enough of it. In the past, we had the barriers of publication. Okay, someone had to publish your book. Right. I tried that in the beginning with this book, and one guy even said, "Well, your ending there, it's a little down. This is an autobiography. It's a little down. Couldn't you have made that a little bit more upbeat?" I'm going, "This is like an autobiography."
Right.
But anyway, but I think now with Amazon and the different systems that we have now to self-publish, now is the time. Now is our time. Get out the real story. You see the movies starting to come now, the hidden figures and stories about our history, because that's what this is. It's a history.
Yeah, that's a history book.
And
sure.
people, and especially the controversy today going on about Black history in schools, we need to get it out there. We need to get our story out there. There'll be people trying to stop that from happening. So we need to do it ourselves.
Yes.
And I really appreciate what you're doing, because you're helping make that happen for so many more people.
Well, thank you so much. I really enjoy what I do. What is something that you would what is your power word? Because I hear what you're saying to people, to just get it out there, right? Get it out there, tell your story. Tell us your power word, and then let me know what's next for you.
Okay, fearless is my word for this year.
Fearless.
So
I love it.
yeah, it's this
Yeah,
is
write that
challenging
down
time.
now.
This is challenging times. We're going to have to be fearless. As
do.
many obstacles exist now as, to me, back in the 1960s when I was integrating junior high school. It's sad but true. So you have to be fearless. That's what I mean.
Yes, I love that word. And then what's next?
What's next? I'd like to retire one of these days, but anyway, I'm still.
You're not going to retire. We have
I know
work to
everybody
do.
tells me that, but I have a community called the World's Best Connectors of people like me. So we go out there and do good things for other people, for other executives. But for literary, I've switched to children's books. Okay.
Ooh,
I have
nice.
two adult books. I have the sequel to Thoughts While Chilling, is The Year a Roof Rat Ate My Dishwasher, and and that's what happens after you retire. Anyway.
Okay.
But I've switched to children's books. So I have this is my dog Ari. He's a red poodle. So his fourth book is gonna be out. People can get that next week out of Amazon. But what I'm aiming at in these, and you could probably help me with this, is what I'm hoping to do with these is encourage parents and grandparents to read to their kids every day.
I totally agree. I'm there with you. Come on, high five.
Okay, we got it.
High five. Yeah.
We,
take it back to the old school.
Yep. Some of us were lucky enough to have that happen. Most have not. These books are written 15 minutes. You can read that to a child for 3 to 6 year olds. So that's my new campaign.
Okay, awesome.
Read to kids.us. So people can go to that site.
That's great.
But I hope to continue to work with you on things as well.
Well, absolutely. The door is wide open for you. I really appreciate you coming in tonight. We're going to keep it going. Please reach out. Follow Denise on her social medias listed below. You can also contact us. We'll give you your phone number. Everything is right there. So what we want to do is make these connections and make the connections matter. Don't put it off. If there's something that you want to call her and ask her, call her and ask her. She's on LinkedIn. She's on Facebook. So you can just kind of, be poking around and say, hey, I saw you. I found you here and I like what you're doing. And I want to talk more. You might want to join her crusade on reading to our grandchildren, to our children. So it'll be a great thing. Well, Queen, I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
I thank you so much for coming in, joining us today. And you can hang out in the back. I think they left you some snacks, or you can go, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, then. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Stay well.
So, everybody, I'm just really having a great time. We need to have us a retreat. Don't y'all think we need a retreat so we could just sit back and eat popcorn and get up and tell our stories, and maybe somebody act it out, because is that too much? That probably was too much. I don't know. But Miss Mary C. Clark, are you ready? Drum roll. Hi, how are you, beautiful?
Just fine. How are you? You are beautiful.
Well, thank you so much. I'm losing my voice. I'm like, what is going on? I should have brought my hot water over here. But
la 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 la. You got it.
Well, and I always wanted to have a raspy voice. My voice was high pitched. Now it's a little raspy. So I'm probably just
that raspy in, girl. You can hit some notes with that raspy.
La, 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 la.
Keep working. You almost there.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I almost got it. You know what? I love you already. I will move out of the way so you can let them know why you're here today. Now, first of all, before I do that, you have so many names. You know you had us confused, right? You really had us tripped up. But I think I got it. So I'm going to let you run with it, and then I'm coming right back.
Okay, I'll straighten the people out. I am Mary Clark Eubanks, the formerly Mary Clark Norris. For those of you who may see my book and notice that my book is Mary Clark Norris, that's formerly, but my name is Mary Clark Eubanks. How many know that God will change your name? So January 2020, God changed my name. I am the author of 3 books. When Your Good Ain't Good Enough, Speak Life, Ears Have Not Heard, and Much Stronger than My Struggles. We got to talk about that later, guys. And I live here in Greensboro, North Carolina, married to the Mr. John Eubanks Jr., formerly of Atlanta, Georgia. People, I tell you, God is awesome, and he is doing some awesome things. All right.
I was about to just sit back. I was about to sit back like that. I'm like, she's going on with it.
Girl, I'm taking it wrong with it.
I love it. I love your spirit. I love your energy. This is just what I need. So you got your name changed.
I got that name changed, girl. Woo! Can somebody say, there it go?
There it go.
Here, change your name.
There it go. I just gave you the bell.
Hey, maybe some single women out there, and I'm telling you, I know from experience what God can do. Wasn't out there scoping nobody out, but God, he allowed him to find me.
That's right. That's right. Well, congratulations. How long have you been married?
2020, January 2020, right before
January 2020. That 2020. Yeah. Now, were you in Atlanta at the time, or were you in Greensboro? Is it Greensboro?
Actually, we were sweethearts at 17 in Kentucky.
Oh.
And God just brought that thing around all of a sudden. Yeah, he's in Atlanta. He was in Atlanta, and I'm in North Carolina. But when God do it, you already know the rest of it. When God has his hand in something, I mean, he makes it happen.
Ain't nothing but to move aside, and it's going down. It's going down. It's such a pleasure to have you tonight. I hope that you enjoy yourself since you've been here.
I am having an amazing time listening to everybody. It's just been awesome. I'm learning so much, and a lot of things that a lot of authors are saying that I have not considered. Oh yeah, I've been taking notes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
What else coming next?
Yeah. So tell us. Let's go into this. Much Stronger Than My Struggles. I love the title. I was like, "Ooh, that's a nice title right there." Yeah, it's a feedback. It's a little feedback. We gotta turn down a little bit. So tell us, how did you come up with the title? Who gave you that? What gave you that title?
Much Stronger Than My Struggles, I would say, had to come from the Lord, because actually when I first started writing this book, by the way, it was not in my being, even in my thought process of writing a book, but I was prophesied to 7 times that I would write. Something that I had never considered. I am a singer, I am a poet, I am a preacher and a motivational speaker, but never thought about writing, never been something that I have been interested in doing. But following the Spirit of the Lord and following just the voice of God, this is my 3rd book. Much Stronger Than My Struggle is my 3rd book. As I was saying earlier, When Your Good Ain't Good Enough was the first book that God gave me. And he gave me the title People say God is very strategic. God is, when we learn to listen and hear God's voice, I mean, things will turn around from us. And most of our situation and problem is that we don't listen. We don't listen. We have to listen to the voice of God. And God gave me the first title of that book. And when I began to write this one, God gave it to me because I thought this book was going to be talking about forsaken. I am not forsaken. And God began to deal with me and talk to me about some of the things that we go through as a people and some of the struggles that we go through as a people. And he was allowing me to know and the many times that he's brought me out of so many situations and so many things that try to take me over. I had a stroke and was paralyzed on my right side, and the enemy used to tell me, oh, this is it. And things like that. You got to think about it. I come from a singing background family. I've sang all my life, been in church all my life. This is what I know. And the enemy began to pour those negativity in me, and I began to speak life over my situation. And that's where my second book was birthed from. Speaking life. It says, speak life, ears have not heard, because I believe that God is doing some things that we cannot imagine. And then after all of that, after all the things that I couldn't with the first book, when your good ain't good enough, thinking that I was not worthy, thinking I could not because they didn't do it or a family member didn't do it. It wasn't in my background. God allowed me to know, Mary, I made you an original, and we don't have to be what we come from. A lot of times we try to, mat in our life or form in our life. Oh, I can't do this. My mother never did this, and my grandmother was never this, and they were. No, you got to set a trend. And God allowed me to know the work. Everything that we need to survive, woman of God, is already in us.
Absolutely.
God let me know. He said, Mary, everything that you need to get to the next level is already in you. And he said, all we have to do, because the word of God says it. It said he has begun a great work. He has begun a good work in you. That lets me know it's already planted on the inside of me. So much stronger than my struggles. Just is a book just really about finding that inner peace.
Okay.
That peace that God has given us.
In the book, do you share stories of your own struggles and how you overcame them? Is there anything particular that you want to share with us tonight?
I just recently preached. Actually, I just preached from the chapter 10 in this book. And chapter 10 of this book tell you about what God can do. And when I was prepared to preach that sermon, using this book as my foundation, I was going to come from chapter 9, and chapter 9 of this book says the fight of my life, in the fight of my life. And chapter 10 says it is finished. And when I would begin to prepare to speak on this book, and I thought I was going to preach on chapter 9, in the fight of my life, because I know during this time, woman of God, we are going through so much. After the pandemic, so many people are discouraged. So many people have gone through so much. And God began to speak to me. I began to get in meditation and sitting quietly with the Lord. And God began to say, Mary, the people are in the fight of their life because of what they have gone through and what they experienced. Some of them have lost a lot of faith. Their faith is just different. And God said, I want you to let the people of God to know. He said, that's why I want you to come from chapter 10. It is finished. Because God was allowing me to know that everything that the devil has set up, everything that the devil has thought that he won in our life, God saying it is finished. We are about to see God take over in many aspects of our life. We're about to see God in a new light. And God was saying, yes, they have been in the fight of their life. He said, but you let them know now is the time, hallelujah, for them to look to the hills from which cometh their help. Because everything that they have gone through, every trial, every toil, every tribulation that they have gone through, and the enemy might have fought them tooth and nails. And God said, but right now, you let them know it is finished. It's a new day, a brand new day. And I believe that, woman of God. I believe it.
Amen.
I believe it. It's a new
well,
day.
well, you see, y'all don't know. Y'all didn't know that all this was gonna happen. I'm
Hey,
just
thank you,
you got everybody going crazy in the chat box, in the chat
oh
room.
my
They just
God.
going crazy there. They say amen, Mary. I love it. I love it because you are really doing your work. You know, you're
Yes,
doing God's work, you're
thank
doing
you.
your work, you're doing kingdom building, and it's all about using our gifts.
Yes.
You're definitely using your gifts. You're using your gifts,
I
and
give
now
you
you're
glory.
using it through these books, which the
Yes.
books will live long after you. And
Yes.
you're educating people through your word, through your written word, through your downloads, because you know we're all connected to source. We're all connected to the greater power source, and it's all about us just continuing every day, meeting people where they are and giving them that encouragement, meeting them where they are and giving them that encouragement. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing. I got to talk to you
Thank
some more.
you.
We need a whole segment. This one ain't big enough. This one ain't big enough for you, but we need a whole segment. So, you know, I'm asking all of our authors, I'm asking them what their power word is. What's that one word? Because see, at the end of this event, all of y'all words will speak to the people. All of your words will be, you know, there will be a collection of all these one words, and it's going to be powerful. So I need to know what your one word is.
My one word would be worship.
Worship.
And I
That's
say
serene.
worship because that is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I say worship because when I get in a space of worship, it takes me to a place where I cannot even describe. Worship it reminds me of the story of David, literally, when David danced before the Lord. And he began to just have his way, and he began to get excited. And I believe that David was excited about not only about what God was doing in his life then, but David was excited about what God was gonna do. Because sometimes, you know, we get excited about what's going on, and God is saying, girl, it's much bigger than that. If you just wait until I do what I'm gonna do. So sometimes I get in that mindset of worship, and I get so lost in worship. I begin to see the David that's on the inside of me that says, I'm not afraid, that I will make a joyful noise. I'm going to praise it in any atmosphere. Remember the story in the Bible when David was dancing, and they say Michael's daughter was looking out at him at a window, and they said that the Bible said that her heart began to get jealous and anger. I mean, then you got to think, woman of God, who can get angry at someone who worshiping God? And then God allowed me to know, he said, Mary, you ain't done nothing. Yeah, I said ain't. Yes, I said ain't. You ain't done nothing until your praise get on somebody's nerve.
Ooh,
And I was, God,
okay, stop right there, Queen. Stop. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. You gotta just stop right there. That's it. That's it. We got it. We got it. If y'all don't do nothing else, y'all better pick up much stronger than my struggle, but
yes,
also just connect with her. Connect with her. Follow her
yes.
on IG. Follow her on Facebook. Her book is purchased on Amazon, and I'm gonna send you a link because something else is going on, and I gotta have you in the room. That's it. I already know my mind is made up. Queen, you have a great night, okay? Because
be
you're
blessed,
not getting
woman of
ready to
God.
take us to 10 o'clock tonight. I know you can keep going. I
Girl,
already
you
know
know I
it.
can.
That's
Amen.
it.
It's the
Pamela
worship in me.
Pamela is waiting, and she says she got to come on this stage. We still got to see Miss Keisha Cooley. So I love
Okay.
you. I love you to
Love
life. I
you.
can't wait to see you. You have added that extra cherry on the top of tonight. Trust me, it's you.
Thank you.
Okay.
To God be the glory.
Yes.
Y'all stay woke. Love you.
Love you,
God bless.
love you. So yeah, we gonna be I'm gonna be running around the room. I already know it. Miss Pamela Queen, you ready? You ready? I know you're ready. I know you're ready. I know you're ready. So thank you so much for being here tonight.
Amen.
Thank you for saying yes to this project. This is what it's all about. Mary just reminded us what it's all about. It's all about staying in that constant flow of expectation. And if we just stay obedient to following our gifts, because that's all we're doing.
Yes.
Your writing is just another extension of your gift. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You dressed for the party. I see that. I see you have dressed for the party. Now I'm gonna move out of the way. So grab your information here, and then I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna just keep this thing flowing.
Amen. I am Elder Pamela Horn, and I'm here to talk about my book called Daughters of the King, Stop Kissing Frogs. And I am a first-time solo author. I had published in the anthologies that my publisher, His Glory Creations, Felicia was talking about earlier. She does anthologies, and I was on the Down for the Count, Bouncing Back from Life's Blows, volumes 2 and 3. So in those chapters, I wrote about my exodus from my job when I was forced out to retire after 27 and a half years. Also, I wrote about my struggles with infertility in the volume 2, which was, they called me Sarah, because time after time I was being prophesied to about a husband and children. And mind you, I'm 55 years old now today. But those prophecies kept coming back to back, and the last one just came probably about 6 months ago. And I was always reminded, because of I was looking at my age, they kept reminding me and calling me Sarah, and reminding me of her struggle and the fact that she had a child in her old age. So that brings me up to the Daughters of the King, Stop Kissing Frogs. It was it started in 2016. Back up to 2015, it started with just the Daughters of the King Conference. And then it turned into the Daughters of the King Stop Kissing Frogs Conference in 2016. We actually just finished a conference on last week. Well, not last week, this past Saturday. We just finished the Daughters of the King Stop Kissing Frogs Conference with the Women of Triumph Ministries, where I'm an associate director of that ministry. And we put that conference on since 2017, 2019, I think we started putting it back on. The book is about my life, basically. Yeah.
I love the title. I got so turned on when I saw that title, Daughters of the King, Stop Kissing Frogs right now. You know.
Right now.
So where did you come up with that catchy title from?
Well, that first year in 2015, we did the Daughters of the King Conference. And each speaker that came through, they just started talking about the men and the relationships. And it just, God just spoke to me about this little fairy tale of Tiana and the Frog Prince. And I started thinking about that, and I started actually researching it. And he just gave me, for the next conference, to have 4 speakers, and for each speaker to speak on a particular frog or a type of man, so to speak, that they have kissed over the years. There's the angry and abusive frog. There is the religious frog. There's the charming but deceptive frog. And then there's the lazy and unproductive frog.
All right. Y'all got that. Y'all got that.
And I went through all of them.
So in the book, you break down all of those frogs.
All of those frogs. And then I even break down
that's some good stuff right there.
Going back. And that was One More Night with the Frogs. You know,
say that one more time, Queen. Wait a minute. Hold up, Elder. Say that one more time. Say that one more time now.
I even break down One More Night with the Frogs. Because if you go back in Exodus, about the chapter about the plagues, and one of the plagues was a plague of frogs. And when he asked Pharaoh, when should I entreat the Lord to take away these frogs? And he said, tomorrow.
That's like right now. Don't waste no time. Don't waste any time. I just so basically, did I hear correctly? Is it like 4 sets of frogs that you break down? Okay, I thought I heard that right. And I love the fact that you not only did you write it, but you're also teaching about it. So as you do your conferences, the women are standing up there and they're telling about it. So it's that constant education that goes on with that.
Oh yeah, every year is everybody comes from a different angle. I just love it. And I don't even teach. I just sit back and let the speakers do it every year.
What kind of frog were you being faced with that you said enough is enough? Which one of these frogs were you being faced with?
Well, I actually started writing in 2011, and I have put those thoughts down and never published it, never finished it. And when I started doing the conferences, God was talking to me about the book. And like I said, I faced all of them. I've gone through all of them.
All of them. Okay. I think we all can say that. I don't know if y'all paying attention out there in the land of the viewers, the viewing land. Y'all been through these frogs. If y'all have been through some of these frogs or all of these frogs, just put a 1 down in the comment. So Elder, keep telling us how was your journey from when you say you got the idea, you kind of put it down. What pushed you to finish? What pushed you to complete it?
Well, it had been a long time coming, and I hadn't been obedient to what the Lord told me to do. And when I first started writing and publishing, my pastor had passed away, and a friend of mine we connected at the funeral, and she told me about Felicia Lucas and the His Glory Creations publishing company. And she encouraged me to give her a call. And at first I wasn't going to do it, but I took that first step, writing just a chapter in that anthology. And then I took another step and I wrote another chapter. And then it was like, I've got about 2 more books in my belly, so I had to birth that one.
Absolutely. I find that anthologies kind of help a lot of people get started in the world of writing, because it takes a little pressure off. You don't have to worry about all of the different moving parts as you would if you were over the entire project. So did you find that to be the same for you as well when you did your anthology?
Yes, it really did give me a boost, and with confidence and a push to go forward. And when I did this project, it came out in February, and I was actually going through trying to get this published, picking out the cover and all of that stuff, and trying to finalize all of the chapters. And I was going through COVID, and I was very, very sick, and I almost didn't make my deadline. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you overcame. Can you show
Oh,
us your
yeah.
book again? That's it. That's it. I like that cover.
Thank
Stop
you.
kissing frogs, daughters of the king. And you know what? That speaks to I think every woman that's watching, because if we consider ourselves to be daughters of the king, you know, to be kingdom builders, to be
Mm-hmm.
from a royal priesthood, then we have to act like it. You
Yes.
know, so what are some of the things in the book some of the tips that you give our ladies when they're reading the book? Can you share just a few of the tips?
Well, I can read something to you.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Okay. It says this book is written to all the young women like me who have so much promise, but allow circumstances to divert their destiny in this world. The following chapters recount the years of my life that I wasted kissing frogs. Never allow anyone to hold any power over your life. No circumstance is too great that God cannot overcome it. Your story may be different, but everyone has their own cross to bear. Whatever your story is, God wants you to know that you can overcome it through Him. And they overcame Him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. If we are faithful believers, we overcome Satan by being free from his power. Speak the word over your circumstances and serve the Lord by sharing your testimony with others to strengthen them. When you share your testimony, the enemy can't use it against you to keep you bound. Most of the time, we do not want anyone to know what happened or things that we did. These skeletons cripple us in life because we are so consumed with shame. But God wants to turn it around and use it for our good. He says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." Jeremiah 29:11. See, God already had our destiny planned out, but He left it up to us to choose. We are the ones who knew the way, but decided to take a different road. When we make the wrong decisions, the results are catastrophic. The smallest mistake can cause us years of regret, but God can still take those messed up years and turn them around for our good.
Amen. Thank you so
Yes.
much for that. There, people are going to get just so many blessings in that, and just so many blessings in connecting with you. Your book can be found on Amazon. Is that correct?
Yes, it's
Okay.
Amazon, and I think it's on Goodreads, and working on a couple of other avenues.
Okay. And I have your website scrolling, consumingfirebooks.weebly.com. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what is next? What can we see? What's coming up? Do you have any conferences or anything like that coming up
Well,
soon?
we just finished the Daughters of the King Stop Kissing Frogs conference. I have had a couple of people that have reached out to me about doing a conference because I'm taking it to other churches. So if anybody's interested, then I will, come to you and bring the
Okay.
conference to you if you're interested. Right now, I'm resting, thank God. But
You're getting you some rest. I know that's right. Getting
oh,
like
yes,
Miss Felicia talked about, getting that self-care, rest when you need to rest. Absolutely. What would you say to our viewers that's watching? I know you said that you had been a little hesitant on publishing that first book. What's maybe one good thought that you could leave with them to get off that shelf and get to work in publishing their literature?
amen. Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Ooh, goodness, you just hit somebody in the gut. Why'd
Yes,
you do that, Elder?
because I'm telling you, it's been years. It's been
Yeah.
years. And people told me to write, and I would write and not publish nothing. But I knew, I would go to conferences and the word would come to me, books in your belly, books in your belly. And even my pastor had prophesied, and there was different prophecies about a book that was help women. And I would not
You did not
complete it.
pull
I
the
wouldn't,
But thank God for people like Miss Felicia that comes along
Yes.
and opens up the anthologies to put people on, and then they kind of increase their sense of confidence,
Yeah,
and
she's
then she's
awesome.
there with you to help you develop your book. So she is just such a blessing, and you are such a blessing to be obedient finally. And y'all write
Thank
that
you.
down, because her saying was, obedience is better than sacrifice. Y'all write that down. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it
Amen.
from Elder Pamela. And what's your one power word that you want to leave with our viewers?
Patience.
Ooh.
I had a minister, a friend of mine, her mother used to say, patience, patience.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing, that messed me up in life. I was trying to do everything on my own and in my own timing, but I didn't wait on God. Wait on the Lord and be of good courage, and he will strengthen thine heart.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity. I have enjoyed this.
You're welcome. And it's more opportunity to come. There was some people that weren't able to make it the other day too. I just want everybody to know, one of our participants, she broke her tooth.
Oh,
so
wow.
Let's pray for her, because a toothache is like delivering a child.
Yeah.
And someone else got
sick.
And
that's crazy, because when I was going through the COVID, it was my gums and my teeth that were bothering me, and my ear. I had symptoms that nobody else didn't really have. So I know it feels like I was dying with that toothache.
Yeah.
So I told her, just pull it out.
So just make sure that we send out everybody that's connected with us in any way, special blessings and peace, light, and love. I thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. You're more than welcome to stick around. We got one more author that's coming on, and then we're going to wrap up, and then we're going to come back on tomorrow. So I know this is quite intense, y'all.
Oh, yes,
just get ready. But it's still more work to do. So thank you again. Peace, love, and light to you. I really, truly appreciate you being here. Absolutely. Miss Keisha Cooley in the building. Are you ready? I know you're ready, because you stay ready. You stay ready. Yes, yes, yes. Let me grab Miss Keisha Cooley from out the back room. What's going on, Queen? Can't hear you. There you go. There you go.
Okay, you can hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Hey, Queen.
Hey, how you doing?
Queen, I'm over here running for you. When I tell you this thing is I've been running since yesterday.
It feels like a conference.
Listen.
I had no idea what I had got myself into.
Well, it's good. It's good.
It's good.
It is good, and I'm telling you, it is pleasing unto the Lord. Do you hear me?
Okay. Well, you know what? I think I keep getting the same consensus. So what did the granny say? Granny say, if everybody keeps telling you the same thing, it's got to be right.
That's right.
So when they keep telling you shouldn't do that, then that's right too. If they say it's good,
that's it.
Then that means it's good. I'm gonna back up out of the way just so I can pull your stuff out and take me a nice quick break. I need to get me some water. I truly do, because I'm feeling a little bit dehydrated. So I'm gonna put you on stage.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna come pop back in. But you look amazing.
Thank you
so
Same
much
to you.
Thank you for being here with us, and I will be right back. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Hey, I am Lakeisha Cooley. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a mother first, a mother of three, two sons and a daughter. I'm a prophet second, prophet of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm a midwife, a spiritual midwife living for his purpose, and an author. I'm also a business consultant. And so I'm here tonight to pretty much let you know about my book, In Between the Two. And it's about me. It's a real life story. And each chapter tells you the things or the people that I was in between for 5 long years. And so that's what this book is about. I'm grateful that the Lord had given me the strength to write. Um, and so that's who I am. I'm Lakeisha Cooley, currently living in Noonan, Georgia.
Okay, I'm back. Keisha Cooley living in Noonan, Georgia. I just want to say thank you so much. In between the two. So you told them where you were. You tell them about the boys? You have
I
boys?
have, I have
Okay,
two boys and a
because I had to
daughter.
go see
Yeah.
y'all. I had to really go grab me some water.
Okay.
Between fanning,
Right.
it
Listen, all of this high energy, all of
all
the
of this
presence of the
energy.
Lord, all of his glory, girl. Let me tell you something. I feel you.
Yeah, I had to like say okay, and then Mary was just trying to take us on a retreat.
Listen,
Like no, Mary, no, like stop right now.
listen,
Like that's how you had to talk to her because she was just. I should have known. I should have known when she came up here glowing all that light. I should have known that we was just
listen.
in trouble, and
Right.
so I
But
was about
it's
to
good
sit back.
trouble. Listen,
Look,
good
good
trouble.
trouble, but this the thing. I was about to sit back. Then I said, "No, I got to keep going. I still got Pam back there. Got Keisha Cooley waiting."
Listen, I was good because I'm telling you, she blessed me. I was like, change my name, Jesus. Here I am, Lord. Change my name. I'm that one. Where he at, Lord?
I
Put his
changed my
GPS
name.
on. Change my name, Jesus.
I know. She's dynamic. She's dynamic.
She
I can't
is.
wait to hear more from her. But let's talk about you. So, what are you doing nowadays?
I'm doing a whole lot of things. I'm ministering. I have a ministry, Prophetic Encounter Ministries International. We are a prophetic team that operates in deliverance, healing, and making sure people are set free for whatever demonic issues they have or just life traumas. I'm writing every day. God is just pouring into me every day, and I got pieces of paper. I got like 3 journals in my purse, and so when He speaks, I write. I'm a basketball mom. I just wear a lot of different hats. And so I'm a caregiver to a beautiful 88-year-old lady that the Lord has
Mm-hmm.
blessed me with to help keep me in alignment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm a member of Abundant Mercy Christian Church out in McDonough where the Lord rests and reside. I'm just excited. My life is good. Listen, it is good. God is good. He is just doing his thing and I'm allowing him to do it.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. So y'all heard it, and Lakeisha and I, I call her Keisha Cooley, but I'm trying to use the names that I put up. That only because that's what's on the book. That's
Right,
why
right,
I'm trying to stay consistent. I got my
right,
team trying to
right,
stay consistent. Mary almost tripped us up. She tripped us up in a big way because I was like, they were so confused. They were like, "Well,
right.
is it two? Is it two people with this one name? Is it
Name,
one
right,
person with this two
right.
names?" I was like, you know what? Let me do some research. So
Okay.
anyway, she's just something else. I gotta talk to her a little bit more. But anyway, we talking about Keisha Cooley, as I call you. Let's talk about this book, In Between the Two. Do I have my copy? I don't even think. Where's your copy at? Hold your book
It's
up.
right here.
Okay. This book is the smallest book that I have ever read, but it is a page turner and it pops. I mean, pops with one thing after another. Did you give them any background
No.
on the book when I was away? Okay, fine. So let us into that book. Tell us about that.
So this book is really it's about me. It's all about me and the things that I was going through within a period of 5 years. I was going through separation, divorce. Um, I went straight from being separated into another relationship, which you can call adultery. I went from that to being really, really sick. And after being really, really sick, I had to bury my father. And so, from me getting out of ICU, of having a blood clot on my lung and a collapsed lung, um, I had to bury my dad 30 days later. And so, going through destruction, lack, deceit, just I was going through, but I don't look like what I've been through. Can somebody say I don't look like what I've been through?
Amen. You don't look like what you've been through.
God is faithful. He is just, and He said, a lot of people may judge you by this book, but there are some people that got to know that even in ministry, we as women, we go through. Um, I can say my first husband was actually ordained to be my husband. However, life happened. The Bible tells us what we fear will come to our door. And I feared, even all the way from a little child, that I did not want to be that woman that was cheated on or all of that. But it came to my door, and the Lord gave me warning. He allowed me to see it before it happened. And so He even led me to it. He
Mm.
led me to it. And so I'm just going to read a few of the chapter
Go ahead, Mama.
titles so people will know exactly. The first chapter, I was between flesh and the Holy Spirit. I was between my mind and my heart. I was between the husband and a boyfriend. I was between my husband and my family. I was between my sons and my husband. I was between my boyfriend and me. Covenant and convenience, marriage and divorce, good, evil, life and death, my sickness and my dad. And so these are all the things that I fought, literally fought through. Um, but God is a keeper. God is the lover of our souls, and God rescued my soul. Not only did He rescue my soul, but He healed my body. And so God kept me through that. And what really kept me was I was learning and becoming the prophetess that I am. And it was that apostle at the time that really, really covered me in prayer, because I lost my mind. And I'm telling you, I was in the closet for like 3 days. I didn't know where I was, what was going on, but people pray for me. When I can tell you, it's a real true thing when you have intercessors praying on your behalf. And so, they decreed and declared that I was not going to be in a mental institute, because that was not my destiny. My destiny was to destroy the yoke off of people, to snatch people out of hell, to destroy the enemy over people's lives. So I had to have my mind. Amen. So this
Mm-hmm.
book is really short. It cuts deep. I didn't cut no corners. I just gave it like it was, because that's what happened in this thing called gospel or Christianity. So many things are sugar coated, and it makes us live in a place of religion where we can't expose our true life. And this is happening every day. People are still going through this, even now, especially through the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
These men couldn't get with their side chicks. The wives don't found out. Listen, the divorce rate is up. Mental health is going on. So it's a real book. And so I just gave my story. I just exposed it all, even
You
myself.
did. You did.
Even myself.
It's so, let me tell y'all, and I could just say from being a person that have read it, like a lot of the books I haven't read. I've read like the synopsis, so I did know who was coming into the space. But from a person that has read the book, you are uncovered in the book. You are totally uncovered. And I applaud you for that, because a lot of people don't, they hold back, the shame of it. But there's no shame. And even when you writing it, you don't feel any, there's no sense of shame. There's just like there's a total deliverance when you
It
read your
is.
words
It
from
is.
that book.
It
So
is.
Queen, tell me about when you were, because it's a quick read. I mean, how long did it take you to write this book?
When I really just I had pieces of paper. I had pieces
Mhm.
of paper because I like to literally write. Some people get on the computer type. It don't mean nothing to me to sit on this computer and type it out. I have to literally write it out. And I had pieces of paper that I had put together. And I said, Lord, what, I need you to give me these chapters. And I
Mm-hmm.
was getting my hair done one day. And I
Mm-hmm.
told her, when you get your hair done, that's a ministry. It was
It is.
ministry for me. She was pouring into me. I was pouring into her. And that girl walked with me through this because I was getting my hair done every week. And as a matter of fact, we worked together. And so I said, I'm so tired of being in between the two. I said, I'm just so sick of this. And I was just crying out. I was like, I'm just so, I want to be in a solid place. And when I got home, I was like, wow, I am really in between the two. And
Mm-hmm.
so God began to give it to me. And I just wrote and I added a little bit. I took away until one day I said, you know what? When the separation came and being with that boyfriend, which was a narcissistic type of guy, he was one of them frogs. He was one of them frogs. He was one of them frogs, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
once it got to a certain point, the Lord said, now close it out. And so I would say maybe about 1 year to just put it all together. Out of the hurt, the pain, the deception, the lies. I mean, even to myself, believing something that I knew for a fact that wasn't going to happen. And I'm gonna even say this, I'm gonna add this to it. A lot of time prophecy would keep us bound.
Explain that, Queen.
So, being a prophet, you know, being led and taught by a lot of big prophets or whatever, well known, it was prophesied that the boyfriend was gonna be my husband. And child, listen, when somebody prophesied to you, it takes two people. It takes the dynamics of that prophecy to come to pass. I was holding on to that prophecy, and holding on to that prophecy my soul kept being tied up, kept chasing something that he was not going and still haven't showed up to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a prophet. And I'm going to tell you, the enemy tried to turn that thing around and say, you're a prophet and this prophecy didn't come to pass. The Lord said, how can you hate prophecy and you are a prophet? So I'm releasing this word tonight to set somebody free. God's word won't fall to the ground. That's his word. But it takes two people in that type of situation for the prophecy to come to pass.
Absolutely.
And so I would say, don't be bound. Don't keep yourself in bondage, trying to make something come to pass.
True. Right.
That's it.
Right.
So when I really realized, not long ago, that this person's soul was not going to equally participate to make this prophecy come to pass, I just set myself free. Because when your soul is tied up, see, when you're in a soul tie, and that's a whole nother thing, but my soul was tied up in that. I had got myself caught up in a soul tie. And so this book, I'm telling you, it is like Queen said, it's a short book. It's true, and it's real. And that's the only way that I know to be, just as a person, is to be real. I don't know no other way.
Right. I love it. So what's next? What's next after this book? Are you working on something right now?
I have 2 books that I've finished that I have not published.
Okay.
I have about 5 book titles that I'm just trying to decide which way I'm gonna go with this thing next.
Okay.
And so I write frequently because God constantly speaks to me. In the ins and outs of the days and the nights, the mornings and the evenings and the afternoons. So I'm a constant writer. But right now I'm really pushing Prophetic Encounter Ministries International. We're in a place where people really need to be set free and delivered. And so I have that team trying to raise them up, and we go out here because I'm ready to get out here. I'm ready to get in the grind of things. There's some people that really want to be delivered. Right. And so this is it. It's a team of 5 of us. And as a matter of fact, we're going to have a tent service coming in September. And so I'll be announcing that on my page for people to come out and worship the Lord. And if there is something you're dealing with, we're equipped for you to be delivered and set free.
Absolutely. That's great. I love it. So, Queen,
Yes,
what
Queen.
is what would you like to say to somebody that's sitting on the fence? Because I know you sat on the fence, even in that book, sat on the fence. So how would you help somebody get their literature out? What would you say to them that's some encouraging words to help them say yes to completing the project?
Well, for one, and I've heard this yesterday and today. For one, and this is really true. Um, don't be the reason why somebody else is not set free.
Ooh.
And I hold myself accountable. This is why I'm out here and I'm doing it, because I wandered around that mountain for a very long time, just wanting somebody to give me that one word or to read that one book of what I was going through, and it wasn't there. Okay.
Mhm.
And even in birthing this gift, I didn't have nobody to just raise me up. I had to seek and find somebody safe that could tell me. So don't be the reason why your next tribe, not just one person, but your next tribe is still in bondage and not set free.
Wow. That's good. That's good stuff. Um, they're gonna have to figure out how to write that down. What's your one power word?
All of my power words have been given. Okay.
It
Execute,
don't matter.
persevere.
It don't
But
matter. You're gonna have to
but
get one.
I got it. I sat here and I prayed. I said, "No, Lord, you heard everybody. Don't say what you told me to say." He said, "Tell them just to believe. You gotta believe.
Believe.
No, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't care how
Yes.
rough it get. I don't care how cloudy it get. I don't care what happened. You got to believe.
Gotta believe.
You got, and that's why I'm able to get on here. Let me just say this one thing, Queen. That's why
Mhm.
I'm able to get on every platform that I'm on. And it was just a few years ago. The Lord said, how can I allow people to follow you, to read your books, to believe in what you're saying when you don't even believe in yourself?
Hello. Y'all just throwing all kind of gut punches around here. Pamela did it. Mary did it. Felicia did. Everybody just throwing these gut punches.
Because it's real, Queen. And so I encourage you to believe. I don't care. Just believe, because that's the game
Write
changer.
that down. Believe is the game changer, because it totally is. So much of what everybody has said, it really calls for reflection in our own life.
Mhm.
We see ourselves in everybody. We see our body of work. We see our ministry in everybody. And it's being surrounded by like minds, iron sharpening iron, that we can still hold ourselves accountable and
That's
keep
it.
pressing.
Mhm.
Keep pressing, because I can't tell you as many times when I said this my work, bringing this um book fair, watching God bring this book fair to fruition. And one night it just dropped down in my spirit to say, do this book fair. And I was like, okay. And, I just started in motion. I don't, I tell people I take off. I hear and I just take off and I keep
Mhm.
moving. And I know that everything is going to be okay, because my intentions are pure,
That's right.
and when I'm working on intent, and I'm not perfect,
Mhm.
things happen. People, get disappointed, whatever. But my intentions are always pure. And when it comes to us writing our literature, it is definitely for someone else. It's to
Mhm.
tell the story that maybe someone else can't tell. It's to leave the words behind long after we're gone. So
Right.
I kept hearing in my dream, your literature is your legacy. Your
Yeah.
literature is your legacy. So I want everybody to write that down, that's watching, that's listening.
Yes.
There
Yes.
may be a story on your heart, and just remember that your literature is your legacy. It lives long after you're gone. It paves the way. It opens up doors for you, and it helps guide people that out of the dark,
It does.
into the light. It say, wow, I'm not alone. Because so many times, I shared a story earlier about how when I was writing, and then I started sharing my work with people with women mostly, and at that point it was like, this is not about real estate. You know, this is about the connections that we make with people. This is about pouring into people and helping them realize that they're not alone, letting them know that you can hold on. We're going to find this house. We're going to get you out of that
That's right.
situation. I got some resources for you. I know some people. I got a tribe over there. To be able to meet here is not by accident. And I'm saying this to all of our viewers, all of our participants. Us gathering together, you might have thought that this was about you paying $27 and getting on a showcase. Trust me, your $27 was spent a long time ago. Like when that first flyer went out, it was gone. Okay. I'm talking about the commitment that my team has, that I have, into making this grow into this bigger drop. And you know, you can speak to them from a point that, you know, they just getting to know me, but you know how we operate. Everything that the I Am Enough talk show is about helping the entire kingdom, the entire society, the race, that our children, from our children to our elders. It's all about this. And I'm just, okay, I gotta drop this to y'all. My parents, my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, they all left this earth in 2017. They left me with a special charge to say, everything you do, you have to honor us.
That's right.
Everything you do, you have to honor us.
That's right.
So it was not me playing games. It's not me trying to do anything other than honor the people that made it possible and that gave me life and that built a foundation, because they were about community. They were about family. They were about bringing people together and giving people opportunities. My grandfather had a business. Every single person in our family was able to move from the South up to the North to work into that place. He was trying to encourage people to buy franchises. So I'm about a community. Yes. So when people look at me, they really don't know what they're looking at.
That's right.
You know, but I just want to tell you now, as we close out today, that this conference, this book fair, this whatever, I didn't rename it. I don't know what it is. What is it, Pamela? I don't know what it is. It feels like a conference to me.
It is pleasing unto the Lord. Just that simple. And listen, Queen, your tears. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. That is the rejoicing in what you have put your hands to. You understand what I'm saying? And we need this. We need each other. I've learned so much. Started from yesterday. I was running around the house yesterday. You said run, somebody run. I was running because from the moment you hit live, it exploded. This has been a game changer for every author on this platform. It has for me. And I appreciate you for believing enough to say, you know what, I'm finna just put it out there.
Yeah, that's what
I appreciate that.
That's what we did. And I never say I always say we, because I can't move no boulders by myself.
That's it.
I cannot do it. And even in the unspoken word, there's a we working. There's always a we working. There's a we at work. So I just want to say this. It's powerful to tell your story. It's powerful to leave your legacy. It's powerful to write stories. Whatever story that was, Denise said she wrote her first story talking about a dog. It doesn't matter what story you write. The only thing that matters is that you get it done, you complete it, that you raise the book up. So take y'all books out, raise y'all book up in y'all hand and say, job well done. I will see y'all tomorrow, 12 o'clock. I got to go gargle. I got to do the saltwater gargle. I got to take me an Epsom salt bath. I got to burn my candles. I got to put my Shanghai in the bath. So I got to do it all. Because when I come back on, every single time, I'm going to try to bring you the best person that I can bring you.
And you have done a great job these last 2 days. I'm telling you, Queen.
We got 5 more days to go.
Oh, that's all right. If he gave you the assignment, he going to give you the strength to endure. You better know that.
I know that. So thank you. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. I
Thank
love
you.
you.
Thank you. I love you too. I love all of you all. I can't even begin to tell you how much this has blessed my life in so many ways. I want to thank each and everyone again for tuning in if for any person that came through, even if it was just for a minute. I want to thank you for every like, every share. I also want to ask you to do me a favor. If you've watched this show or if you've been a part of it, to please leave a comment inside of our I Am Enough talk show page. Just leave a little testimonial or whatever, however it touched you. I'm talking to my co-authors. I'm talking to any of the viewers. Just come on over to that page. It's I Am Enough on Facebook and leave us a comment. Let people know what this platform is about. I Am Enough talk show was voted #1 talk show in Atlanta. We also received the award last year for most inspirational talk show. And I don't say that to brag or anything. I just say that because I love what I do. We love what we do. And we want everybody to know that this is a safe space to activate your dreams, to get it done, to believe in yourself, to believe in other people, to partner with people, to do collaborations. This is a great space. I know so many publishers and I help people, I hold people accountable, but I don't feel a lack of anything. I feel like this, the more the merrier. So whatever you do, bring your gifts and talents to the I Am Enough talk show and let's let the world know it. I will see you all tomorrow, noon. I was about to say noon o'clock, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be doing the same thing. We'll be coming back to you at 7 o'clock. So be well, be happy, be free, and know that I love you. I absolutely love you. And there is absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Peace, love, and light.
I am grateful. I am blessed. I am loving. I'm a woman of perseverance. I'm inspiring. I'm a motivator. I'm fierce. I'm unique. I'm a winner. I'm extraordinary. I'm humble. I'm hardworking. I'm trustworthy. I'm beautiful. I'm intelligent. I'm courageous. I'm outspoken. I am love. And I am enough.